Bjorn.
Oh, okay. Welcome to another episode of The Abandoned Cockpit, where pits be abandoned and cocks be abandoned, but not conversation.
We give you all the news that you don't need.
And that you don't care
Right.
about.
That you
What
don't
is it?
care about. Yeah.
What is it? The news that doesn't matter will soon be told.
Yes.
Well, I'm Dane. This is Bjorn and Luke. How was your guys' 4th of July?
It was good. It was a lot of river time, a lot of boating, and a lot of drinking. So it was really good. We went up to Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin, and I got to enjoy some of my friends' their new boat. They have I can't remember if it's like a 24 or 27 footer, but it's quite a bit bigger than their last one. So that was good. What do you got there?
Did you see that?
Yeah.
I was like, man, that better not be attached, and I just missed it. Yeah, you sent me some pictures that looked like you guys were having fun.
Yep. It was a good time. So it was I think I sent you that text about how like in the morning it was probably around 8-9 o'clock or something, and I had just got some biscuits and gravy, and I went and poured myself an orange juice, and this guy that was there with us just he looked at me with disgust. It was like, juice? What are you having juice for? It's like, you better put some vodka in that. And it was just funny how disgusted he was with my choice to not immediately start drinking right away.
Were you like, do you not see my flannel pants?
Yeah, I should have. He would have been
Or
like,
are you
what?
wearing flannel pants?
No, it was one of those shorts and t-shirt kind of deals.
So for about 10 years, Luke and I have had a joke of after we got wasted, he'd always be wearing flannel pants, and like we haven't seen each other very much in the last like 8 years.
Yeah.
You know, so every once in a while I'd be like, oh, flannel pants day. Just
Yep.
text each other like, oh, yep, I got wasted last night. Now I can't handle myself. So
And me and Bjorn, whenever we're hungover, it's not every time we send a text, but a lot of times when I'm just hungover, I'll just send "feel like shit" to Bjorn.
Yeah, and on days that it's really hot, and like you're inside air conditioning, and you step outside and it's so humid that it just like feels like the condensation just hits you, and we talk about piss pants day, because it just feels like you step outside and you pissed your pants because everything just gets wet.
I think that's a pretty good description on how it feels out right now. It is gross out down here anyway.
oh, here too.
Yeah.
The last 3 nights I've played Cube. So
Nice.
that's been fun, including tonight. We just got back from hanging out with Scott and his family. Last night we went and played Cube and watched some fireworks, and the night before that we went to a campground and played Cube. So a lot of bush lights have been drank.
I burned garbage.
Huh?
I burned garbage today.
You set yourself on fire?
Oh, no, so many fucking boxes from the wedding and from the baby, and like just so many Amazon boxes and whatever. And our garbage pickup, like, I don't know what the deal is with cardboard or how to do it, but like we just had so much, it was taking up the entire garage. So I just started burning today because it rained this morning. So I figured it was safe enough.
That's fair. Bjorn, I got a few things for you. And I don't know if you're ready for them, but I'm going to throw them at you anyways. First, did you you were working on something. Is that finished, ready to go today?
Yeah, it's not a lot. It's more just a test run. I thought we would do some sort of 4th of July oriented program.
Okay. Let's see it.
Right now, okay. I guess, can I screen share?
Oh, not yet. Hold on. I got to give you the power. Okay, here we go. All right, you should be ready.
All right, let's see if I can do it. Oh, sideways.
So today is the 4th of July, but at the moment, anyways, our episodes come out a week later. So we're trying to work on that. I'm trying to figure out how I can do video editing much quicker because it takes me forever. Like our last episode was like 2.5 hours long, and I watched the whole thing trying to find some good parts in it, so we can make them small videos because those will be watched a lot more than the hour to 2 hour long episodes. So that's why it takes a week right now, anyways.
And yes,
Yeah,
It is. Video editing is not very easy. Like, I haven't done much video editing ever in my life, but
but
I know
it's hard.
yeah, well, just like messing with Call of Duty, the video editor on just Call of Duty, and trying to mix up a clip, just doing that, like,
just like one cool kill or something like that you wanted to showcase.
yes, and that can take a couple hours sometimes when you're messing around with it. So
Yeah, I'm not even doing anything special to this. I'm just
mhm.
making little tiny clips, but I'm hoping to get it to the point where we can do an episode I can turn around and just throw it up right away, and then maybe in the next few days have smaller clips of that episode. But
I feel like this is shop talk that's not really appropriate for the podcast.
why? I'm just explaining why we're doing a 4th of July show on the 11th.
On the 11th, it's the 4th.
It is today. It's not going to be when this comes out.
Well, what are you doing tomorrow?
What am I doing tomorrow?
Probably jack shit.
I have a lot going on, Bjorn.
Okay. All right, well, can you see my screen?
No,
Why?
because you didn't share it.
I didn't? Oh, okay, well,
I was also just trying to talk while we waited on you to set this up.
I was sitting here waiting on you because I thought it was ready to go. How do I do it then?
At the bottom it says share screen.
There you go.
Nope, he just disappeared.
No, it does not say share screen.
Or you could do all tests.
Hold on. Got it. I got it. I'm sorry. I'm too dumb.
We need to have sound
there it goes.
effects
Just start
eventually.
making noise like
Okay, so
what?
can you see it now?
Yeah, and I can also see two of me, which is fine. But hey, there it goes.
Okay, now I can't see you guys, but that's fine. Did you know who the King of England was at the time of the Declaration of Independence?
Was it King George III?
It was. And I can't say that I definitively knew that. I probably did at one point, but I really actually don't care about royalty at all. And it like pisses me off whenever people are all like excited about the royal wedding or anything that's happening with that. It's just, who cares? They're like,
Agree.
they're celebrities that haven't even done anything cool. They're just born into it. And it's like, oh, cool, I guess. So anyways, I looked at I don't know who the king was, and it says King George III, and he's not known for a lot of good stuff. Not that he was a terrible king, but let's see here. I'll go to the next slide. What was he known for? he was known for being crazy. He was known as the Mad King that lost America. So losing America, number 2. Oh, geez. Well, I was supposed to say ability to calm nobles.
I was gonna say, what's ability mean?
Yeah, I did this on my phone, so it was really small.
Blue piss?
Yeah, that was the other thing known for, is he pissed blue.
Why?
Well, that's what we're going to talk about here.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Yeah, like how great would it be if you were, that's what you're known for 200 years later, is like your urine was discolored.
I'm really intrigued.
So, the Mad King, some of the crazy stuff that, like, when he would have his episodes, when he would write, all of a sudden he would write like 400-word sentences that would have like 8 verbs in it. His speech, he would repeat himself a lot, and he used creative language, but sometimes he would talk so much that the foam would run out of his mouth. And his mental illness, there was depression and sadness. They believe he was bipolar, and he would like disappear from the public to go and try to recuperate. So why the blue piss? It was thought to be a genetic blood disorder called porphyria, and aches and pains were a part of it, and blue urine, or it's another symptom. But recently they've been disputing that maybe it had to do with the medication that he was on. It was based on gentian, I guess, which is a blue flowered plant that makes your urine blue. Either way, like, I wouldn't want to be known for that.
No,
That was kind of cool, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
Hey, did you know that guy his piss is blue? Wouldn't everybody be intrigued and be like, dude, that's cool?
Well, it's
yeah,
kind
be
of
like,
oh, what's the guy from Talladega Nights? Ricky Bobby. He wakes up and pisses excellence in the morning. No? Okay.
It was funny.
So, something interesting, like George Washington, I don't know, like I felt stupid when I caught myself thinking this, but like I didn't realize that he had never been to England. Like, I just figured George Washington, was part of the British Army at one point and was just British, blah, 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 because America was ruled by the British. So, but then I see that, well, I'll just read it. George Washington and King George III never met. Neither set foot in the other's homeland, and one was born to rule while the other was a reluctant leader. In some ways, the gaps that set them apart were as wide as the ocean between them. Yet their lives were inextricably linked, and in the end, perhaps they understood each other as only those who have worn the mantle of leadership truly can, which I stole from the link below that. But let's see. My final question would be, should we colonize the UK? Which I don't know if you have thoughts on that, but seems like we could take their resources, pretty good location. I figured who's going to care if we do, because they probably all hate them from the British Empire of old. We could consider it revenge on our part, we already sort of speak their language. We could reconcile that whole Northern Ireland deal, unless that's already has, and I haven't heard about it. They'd never see it coming. We're allies. We could just be like, hey, we're coming over to visit, and by the way, give us your shit. And we could take Canada while we're at it. So that is my presentation.
I love it, dude. That's awesome, and I'm very glad that I now know that guy freaking pissed blue. That'd be a great party trick. Like, Dane's right. Everyone would want to like see that guy piss. I'd watch him piss.
Dude, you could piss in a cup and give it to somebody, and they're never gonna think it's urine.
They'd be like, is this or Gatorade? We're like, what's going on here?
You could piss in their Gatorade, and they wouldn't ever tell the difference.
Well, you can still do that
anyways.
Gatorade.
Yeah, I guess.
And I wonder if it was different shades of blue sometimes. Like one day he's like, well, I guess it's like a navy blue day. And like the next it's like, oh, it's a light blue, sky blue kind of piss day.
It could be.
Just fluctuates in color like that. What did you say, Bjorn?
I said he could piss with all the colors of the wind.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on taking over the UK?
Before I say anything about that, the whole ability to like rally the nobles or whatever, it had to do a little bit with his like shitty health. Like people felt sorry for him. So
It's like, hey,
how like he do like even though he was not a really great and powerful ruler, he could kind of get people to agree and settle down. And some of that was just because people felt sorry for his bad health.
they're like, no, George, I'm not doing that. It's like, but I piss blue. I'm like, fine, we'll go to war.
So my thoughts, I don't necessarily think it's a good idea, but it's kind of interesting that like a lot of times when America goes to war, they don't just take the shit. They end up like, I don't know, building the country back up and like sending them on their way or no?
When have we done that? I understand that that's kind of the idea and that we've done that before, but I mean,
I guess I would say Germany. Isn't that one?
yeah, but we've been in so many wars since that.
Wars or conflicts?
Same fucking thing, dude. Just because Congress doesn't declare it, like if somebody from over in Iraq or Afghanistan came and drone striked your kid, wouldn't you think that you were at war with that country?
I suppose so, yeah. But I guess what I'm saying is that we don't just like put up an American flag and say this is America now. You are now the first state.
Yeah, because the wars aren't meant to be won. They're meant to be fought continuously to get money from people like us to the military industrial complex, like Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, the politicians, everybody that's involved with it. It has nothing to do with winning the war. Because we could have went and just completely dominated Afghanistan in a sense, right? Like it could have been fought to be won, but we were just kind of occupying it and not, there was no mission, first of all, and I take that back probably. I don't know if we could have ever went over there, but if we wanted to declare it like the US, it would have been a lot different because the goal wasn't to actually win the war. It was to just spend a lot of money for the benefit of
Luke. That's something that you've talked about in the past to me is like, I think, was it the war in Iraq where you said something about how you wouldn't have had as much problem with it if we'd gone in there and actually taken care of business.
Yeah, because that was my biggest problem with it. Like
with the war in Iraq.
Like if we would have just gone in there and just taken care of business and like Bjorn was talking about, like where you take over a country, but that's not what we do. Like, and to Dane's point, the war is meant to drag on so people line their pockets, because what did they tell us first? The WMD thing, and then
which was false from the beginning, obviously, and they knew that.
Yes, and that's what they told the country though, and then after that it became, well now we need them to have democracy and all of that, and then it's just but no, yes, Bjorn, that's something when I was in college that I was talking about, like you need to go in there and quit messing around, but I don't know.
But with Iraq, we should have never been there in the first place.
No,
ever.
I agree.
You could kind of make an argument for going to Afghanistan. I mean, you can make a decent argument for going to Afghanistan because of Osama bin Laden was there. Yeah. However, if we were never over there fucking around in the first place, 9/11 would have never happened.
Yeah.
Like we taught Osama bin Laden how to get a world power to go to war, to bankrupt them. And that was his mission of 9/11. And when he saw George W. Bush, apparently he was like, that's my guy. He's going to fall for this and he's going to come over here. And then after that, they pushed to go to Iraq. And it was like a fucking what I don't know what to call it. It was like extra for bin Laden. You know, he was so happy when he found out that we were going to Iraq too. He's like, this is going to end up bankrupting America. And it is. It 100% is. But the whole reason of trying to bait us to go over there in the first place was to bankrupt us so we couldn't be over there fucking with them in the first at all.
Well, it's funny the joke's on bin Laden because it turns out it's COVID-19 and Putin that has bankrupted us and cranked up the gas prices so much.
Yeah, that is true. That's very true.
Which conflicts was it that had to do with they said was to stop the spread of ISIS? Was that Iraq as well?
I missed the very first thing you said.
Which of the conflicts was it that they were saying that it was to stop the spread of ISIS?
Well, so I don't recall them saying that. I recall them saying, and I was actually going to bring this up too, because we had recently drew back on Iraq a lot, right? And then ISIS came in, and this is like, well, see, this is what happens when we leave a war. Some other huge, terrible group comes in and starts killing people. That's why we can never end a war, because if we do, it's going to be so much worse. But joke's on every motherfucker who doesn't pay attention to anything. Those were, stay with me here. This is kind of hard to understand because the name of the group was Al Qaeda in Iraq, and they were fighting in Iraq. They went to Syria, changed their name to the Al Nusra Front, which Barack Obama called them the moderate rebels, and that's who we were supporting in Syria to overthrow the Syrian government that has never done anything to us whatsoever, and they wanted us to go to war with them. And you know, we've really caused issues there, and countless people have died, and it's a very sad thing that but like our government caused. You know, there'd be conflict over there regardless, but we ramped it up, made it horrible. All right, so we were giving money to these people, Al Qaeda in Iraq, while they were in Syria, and there was actually a video, Bjorn. I remember telling you to go on my Facebook and watch this. There was one of their leaders who they had killed somebody. They went and cut out the heart of the dude and ate it. And it was way before Facebook was like censoring everything. And they had pulled it off of my Facebook like 2 or 3 times. But that was Barack Obama's moderate rebels, right? So the Al Nusra Front ended up having issues within themselves. And half of them broke off from them, became ISIS, and then went into Iraq and took everything, a bunch of weapons from us, and started murdering people. But and then like our government and the media turns around and says this is why we can never leave a war, because another group's gonna rise up. Well, fuck, dude, we gave them the money, we gave them the guns, we created ISIS basically. And there's a video of John Kerry saying, man, I really thought we would be able to handle them and control them, but nope. So we create a horrible circumstance and a horrible group, give them the means to go and slaughter a bunch of people, and then blame it on, well, we pulled back from the war. That's why we can never leave. And that's why when we were getting out of Afghanistan, they made it look as horrible as they possibly could. And like, don't get me wrong, it wasn't like the most elegant pull out, but like that's why they turned on Biden a lot for that too. They have to make it as worse as possible because, well, we can't leave because remember when we left Afghanistan, all these people died. It's like, I bet they would have wanted us to leave 18 years ago instead of staying there for over 20 years and killing all their kids. But
so really what you're saying is that we're not playing Risk, we're playing Monopoly.
Sure. But conquering and controlling the world doesn't mean that you have to actually physically be everywhere. It just means that you control it and make it so everybody's afraid to turn against you. Like the reason that Hillary Clinton and her group got Gaddafi butt fucked with a knife was because he was trying to get off the US dollar. And they're the ones who put him in power. And then once he started getting too friendly with other people, they're like, we can't have that. We got to kill him. And there's a video. Let me find it because this will show a little bit of who these people really are. right? This is going to take me just a second, but she was kind of in charge of the whole Libya thing. And after Gaddafi wasn't a good guy, right? After he was killed, there's slave trade. There's open slave trade in Libya. So it was a lot better for those people when Gaddafi was alive. Saddam Hussein, not a good guy. I'm actually happy he's dead. But when he was alive, the Christians there were having a lot better of a time. ISIS wasn't running rampant. And, and like we go and create a war, kill a lot of their people, and create a whole bunch of other issues. And then like people get mad at me for suggesting it was better when Saddam Hussein was alive. Sorry, but that's the fucking truth.
I've thought about that before, Dane, too, because like you said, I agree. Like, I'm glad Saddam is dead. Like, I'm glad that Gaddafi is dead. However, sometimes you'd look at these places and it's like, is those the types of leaders that make those places work a little bit, I guess, quote unquote work? Like, yeah, it's not a great life like like some people have in the Western world, but their culture and history, I don't think that many people grasp on how much different those places are.
Dude,
it's crazy.
It's a different fucking world. And I wouldn't say that they're there and make it work. There are horrible dictators who do horrible things. However, the point of all of this is that American violence, especially the way that we do it to put money in the pockets of the wealthy and the connected, does not make the world a better place. It makes it a much worse place. Like, if you care about these people, get the military out of all these conflicts. Like with Ukraine, there's a really good argument that this is all because of the United States and is it NATO or the UN in the first place? But then to say that we need to do something for Ukraine, it's just making it worse. It's making it way worse.
Well, didn't we install, like, help get Zelensky in the first place?
Yeah, and now it's all about democracy, but we're the one who overthrew the government and implanted somebody that was US friendly instead of Russian friendly, and then we're giving them money and arms, and then we're like, what, Russia, why are you being so violent? Like, we're just sitting there like, oh, you have to take this. We're gonna put the UN border right next, or is it NATO? Which one is it, Bjorn? It's NATO.
It's NATO.
Remember
It's NATO.
Podcast on that.
yeah, I get the two confused. They're both horrible groups that should be disbanded immediately, but NATO keeps getting closer and closer to Russia's border, and they finally said you cannot have Ukraine, which is fair. That is a fair point from their perspective. Like, let's say Russia was in NATO instead of the US, and they kept getting closer, and they started sending arms and money to Canada. But not only that, they overthrew the government and implemented somebody that was Russian friendly.
We wouldn't put up with it.
We would not put up with it. And I don't like war at all.
Yeah.
And it would be very hard for me to get to go back to anything, but it would be, it's fair to look at somebody's perspective and be like, fuck that, dude. We're not having a Russian puppet in Canada where he's getting missiles and money from them. Joe Biden's son was hooked the fuck up.
Yeah.
Hooked up. And like, oh, dude, the other day, Biden was talking about gas prices, and somebody asked him a question like, this is going to be really hard on the American people. And he's like, it doesn't really matter, because we will have high gas prices until we win the war in Ukraine. So, hey, Bjorn, hey, Luke, fuck you and your family. We need to protect Ukraine from Russia, from a conflict that we caused basically in the first place. And we don't give a shit about you, because the American interest, which just means the political and the big corporate interests, are in Ukraine. They don't care about you guys. The business is worldwide for them. And so when people say American interests, dude, it has nothing to do with our interests. Nothing to do with it. But it makes sense from the empire's perspective because that's what they care about. They care about power and money, and they want to rule everything. And fuck us, 100% fuck us. They don't care about us. Like, they just want to rule the world.
So when they say American interest, maybe they mean it more like a credit card company interest, like where people have to keep paying more in.
Mm-hmm. And if you view America as the empire instead of just the normal people, it makes a lot of sense too. Let's see, right here. This is Hillary Clinton talking about Gaddafi. Oh, I got to share sound too. Hold on a second. I'm new to this whole thing. Let's see. All right, there we go.
So, I mean, that is the land of unconfirmed.
Yes, we came, we saw, he died.
Did it have anything to do with your visit?
No, I'm sure it did.
Oof.
So, Ed, have you guys seen the video of him dying?
Yeah, I have seen it. Yep.
Oh. They're literally stabbing him in the butthole with a knife repeatedly.
It's insane.
Yeah. And she's laughing about it, dude.
Yep.
What an evil fucking bitch. She is horrible. How many friends of her friends have committed suicide?
Yeah, right. I know. Like the ones that they find that go on a hike and then somehow they figure out how to shoot themselves, like
in the back of the head after they were hanging. You know,
yeah, stuff like that. Yeah.
Like, as a political figure, do you think that she has like a body double? And do you think that like how bad that would be to like have that job? Like, you get up in the morning, you go to the sink, you look in the mirror, like, Jesus Christ, I'm Hillary Clinton.
I hope she does, and I hope that Bill hates it. It's like, two of these bitches, come on. Like, what I gotta deal with.
Oh man, that's
Yeah.
So I didn't mean to go off on that rant. It's something
No,
that I
it's
really care
interesting.
about because going to war is the only thing I ever want to do. And I like wanted to fight for freedom. And I was a dumb kid who thought that we could be violent and murder people all over the world. And somehow that would make your life better. Well, guess what? It hasn't. Now we have $5 gallon of gas and we're over $30 trillion of debt.
I talked to a guy on the river who has like a boat that was, I think it had like a 115 gallon gas tank. It's like $800 to fill that up on the water. Because gas is more expensive, if you buy it on the water. Yeah, especially on the 4th. And yeah, could you imagine that's like $800? There goes.
Right.
This better be fun.
He's yelling at his kids, just have fun. That cost me $1,000 just to drive your ass around on this lake.
Yep.
Everyone should be smiling right now.
Yep.
Do you ever get mad at your kids for not having fun?
Me?
Yeah. I expect Bjorn's baby's too young for him to yell at her for not having fun yet.
I just realized how dumb of a question that was. Yeah, of course you were talking to me. But yeah, absolutely. It's like, we're doing all this nice stuff. Like, stop it. Like, enjoy.
You'll appreciate how hard we work for you
Mm-hmm.
just to put a smile on your face.
Yep.
And you're mad that your sister got the last donut.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The stuff that kids go on about and they get so mad about. It's just so silly.
Mm-hmm.
But
also hilarious, but
it is, yeah. It's funny too.
My kid just gets pissed if I put her down.
Yeah.
Like, holding her, she's fine, but if you lay her down, she doesn't like that. I'm like, it's the same thing. It's the same exact thing.
Are you gonna shave your beard someday?
Yeah.
I know that was a weird question. You know what I'm talking about, like where they and then drop it for the kids and they freak out and lose their mind.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I'll present it, but yeah, I definitely am growing this so that she can become accustomed to it, and then I can take it away and scare the hell out of her.
So you have a 1-month-old baby and you're already thinking about how you can take something away from her to make her horrified, just so you can get a little bit of enjoyment of watching her freak out.
Dane, I started growing this November, so I've been thinking about it.
When you really think about it, though, that's what you're doing. You're destroying her entire world. She ain't gonna know who you are.
No, I'm not destroying her world. I'm giving her a new perspective. I'm opening her third eye to a whole new world.
You think you know what's going on, but any moment that can just be taken away from you.
Yeah, I want to teach her to not trust men.
Bjorn, I will say though, like you do grow a beard back pretty quick though, once you decide to get rid of or change it up in some way. I always thought like it'd be like, I thought you just shaved it, and then it's before I know a month's gone by and you already got like
It's my one and only talent, because I shaved for Halloween. I went as the Squid Game Korean guy, so it's only been like 7-8 months or something like that. So I don't know. One guy the other day was like, how do you make your beard grow so fast? And I just wait.
that's awesome.
Bjorn does have one of the best beards out there for sure.
And
It's beautiful.
Every time I shave it, I always like regret it instantly, because I see my face. I'm like, because I've got a tiny chin. You like my shirt, Luke?
I do like it. That's awesome.
It's the devil mouse.
Yeah. So
I got my Mickey shirt somewhere. Megan usually steals it because she likes the material.
this has a nice material too. Dane, can I share my screen for a second, quick?
Oh yeah, hold on. I gotta put it back. Oh, wait. Hold on. There you go. Oh man. I got a few things that we can look at and talk about if you guys don't have anything else. I know Bjorn's pulling something up, but if you guys have ideas, I think I took quite a bit of time just ranting about the evils of our empire.
So, of that, is the fall of Rome comparable to the current situation in the United States? No.
Rome had good roads.
That's awesome. I've heard people compare it, like they always go back to the fall of Rome as that's what we're going through right now here in the United States. And I've not really looked into, I guess, the similarities or anything that people see in it, but I don't know.
I haven't either, but
yeah, I just hear it a lot.
yeah. I would say that Rome was an empire, and then they eventually fell, obviously, and I would say that the United States is an empire, and with over $30 trillion of debt and everything that else that's going on, I just don't understand how it doesn't fall.
Yeah, it's weird. It's odd how much like money that we are in debt. It's, again, I was talking about, we can't really fathom some of the different cultures and things that are all around the world, but I don't think that I can even fathom how much money that actually is. Like, that's an insane number.
It doesn't even make sense.
No. How does that happen?
Well, do you know how it happens? Because I actually know how it happens, but
yeah,
we were on the gold standard a long time ago, and they've just printed so much money that it used to be $20 an ounce of gold for an ounce of gold. It's almost $2,000 for an ounce of gold now. So they've just pumped so much into it that it just doesn't buy what it used to. But
Yeah.
that's the only way that it happens, is completely destroy currency. So I am 100% convinced that I will live longer than the USD. We'll see though. I might die today, but if I don't,
That'd be fucked if that happened right now. Like you just fell over dead.
and then you check your bank accounts and the dollar's dead too. I don't know how you would tell by looking at your bank accounts, but oh, I have something funny.
What do you got?
The deadliest animal in Iowa are cows.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
It is just because we don't have that many deadly animals in Iowa. And it talks about in here, but just it's can be dangerous working on a farm. And if you're in a gate with a bunch of cows that get pissed off, it ends up killing some people, but
You know, when we went what was it? Not tubing, kayaking and canoeing. And when we dumped the canoe, Dane, remember when Schultz and I dumped that canoe?
Yep.
There was a moment when I was walking, because I had to walk on the north side of the river. At least I think that's the side it was. But I saw like some cows in the distance, and I actually was starting to get a little nervous. I was like, "Don't notice me, don't notice me," because yeah, they can be shitty, man. Like sometimes. So
Do you remember that cow? The cow that looked like it came from Fallout 4?
I
like,
do remember that one.
Had like deformed udders. It looked like one of the Brahmin.
Yeah.
The other, they all look like dicks.
Yeah, it was bad. Like it must have cut its udder, and it must have just got infected like horribly bad, because that was something else. I kind of felt bad for it.
All right. Bjorn,
Did you
besides
guys talk about regarding the 4th of July?
what do you want to talk about?
I already talked about what I wanted to talk about. I didn't know if you guys had brought anything to the table regarding 4th of July.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. Good enough for me.
How about like the fireworks and stuff that people do now? I don't know about your neighbors, and Dane, I know you live pretty far out, like out in the country, but Bjorn, do you hear a lot of fireworks when you're in town?
I was at home. Must have been Saturday night, and there were some fireworks, and the dog went and ran and hid. But I mean, it was pretty early. It was like 9 o'clock, something like that, 10 o'clock, and it didn't keep me up. It wasn't a lot.
Yeah, I'm actually not, now that it's legal, I almost feel like I hear less fireworks now that it's legal than when it was illegal in Dallas Center. That's just something I've noticed in my area, and I might be wrong, but I just remember always people shooting off fireworks like the whole week leading up to the 4th, and
like
it's
all night long too, right?
quite a bit. Like sometimes definitely it'd be like 2 a.m. and people would be blasting stuff off for sure.
That's something that Schultz always bitches about around in Des Moines. Like 4th of July, horrible, but I don't know.
I don't know, maybe the people moved or something that used to shoot it off, or maybe they're in jail. I don't know, but we've been home, and I've heard a few go off, but nothing crazy like it used to be.
We went to it's not Chicago, but real close there where Jesse's family lives, and on the other side of the alley, their garage was completely burned down, and we were talking to him about it. It was like, yeah, for 4th of July, they shot a firework that went inside the garage and burned it all down. And this guy had some old car that he had been working on for years, and he had sunk at least $40,000 in this thing. Wasn't insured because he couldn't drive it yet. And then he burned that motherfucker down. That would have been.
That is a very expensive lesson.
Oh yeah. Yep. That hurt for sure.
Let's see. I've got another thing that I wanted to show you guys that I came up with. Let's see. It has to do with debate. And it was kind of a neat idea. I figured you guys would get a kick out of it. In the ancient Persian Empire, men would debate ideas while sober and again while drunk. An idea had to sound good in both states to be considered acceptable.
I love it.
I mean, it kind of makes sense, really.
I wonder if it was that they had a drunk argument. And then they're like, wait a minute.
Sober?
Yeah. Yeah, because so many things sound good when you're wasted.
Kind of like this.
Kind of like what?
This podcast.
Yeah. But we did talk about it when we were sober. And then made the decision to actually do it. So it'd be funny if all the, I don't know, the elite people in that time frame would get wasted and talk about stuff. And then the next day they're like, wait a minute, we have to have this conversation again to make sure it's okay.
Yeah.
It's like, King George, you were wasted last night. Like, let's discuss this one more time before we just start, I don't know, trying to fight the fucking George Washington.
They're like, yeah, I was wasted too because I could have sworn you were pissing blue.
I was playing Edward 40 hands and like just blue piss was going everywhere.
I'm still not over that. I'm gonna, if I take away anything from our discussion today, it's gonna be that little tidbit. I'm never gonna forget it.
Okay, well, I got a thought, and not to throw both of you guys under the bus, but both of you were history majors in college, and I know that you both like to learn about history. So if you don't know anything about this, that's fine. But anything about the founding fathers or anything like that that you found really intriguing, or your favorite aspect about them, one of them, or just a cool thing that you know that most people don't know about any of them. It's like some hidden history that people probably don't know.
Well, I don't know, I guess a ton about this, and I would need to look into and do some more research on it. But I guess Benjamin Franklin was kind of a ladies' man. I've heard.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know if it was a ladies' man in the fact that he had a lot of girlfriends, or he went and saw a lot of prostitutes. I can't remember which one it was, but
It was his slaves.
I mean, could have been that too.
It's like, why does Benji just have slave girls?
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense. They're not as good in the fields as the men.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it was Benjamin Franklin that I heard that a long time ago about. And I would say I'm about 90% sure that it was Ben Franklin. So
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'd like
Do
to
you
hang
think-
out with him.
After Ben Franklin and the key with the kite and electricity, like his next test was with like a sex toy.
I mean,
That's the kite and get that all powered up.
I hope it was. Now that you say it, I forgot he was the one that did that whole key in the kite thing. What a weird idea. Allegedly, yeah. But
I was just thinking, like, I wonder if that's a myth, because you hear all this shit about these people, and like, I don't know. My whole life I was told that Abraham Lincoln was a good guy. Turns out that was fucking false too.
Yeah, yeah. I had a history teacher that hated Abraham Lincoln in when I was at Ellsworth in Iowa Falls. Like he was not a fan of Lincoln, thought he was a horrible president. I wish I could remember more on his whys around that, but I
Maybe
thought,
he got a whole bunch of brothers and dads and sons to, kill each other.
yeah,
Right.
well, yeah.
And it kind of makes you wonder, why does the government schools teach all the kids that the best president in history was the one who convinced the countrymen to murder each other?
Dane, don't worry about it. Going forward, the history will teach that Joe Biden was the best president.
Fair enough. Do you have any thoughts on this, Bjorn? Founding fathers stuff that I was talking about, not honest Abe.
Yeah, I'll be honest. As soon as you asked the question, like my mind went blank. I was in college 15 years ago, and I haven't thought about history a whole lot since then. So, yeah, I don't have anything off the top of my head.
Okay, probably my favorite thing is that George Washington, when he started fighting, just wanted more freedom from King George. He just wanted more freedom. He's like, just back off our dicks just a little bit. And Thomas Paine wrote him a letter, and he's like, no, you can't just be saying that. Like, we have to go to war, and we have to get these dudes out of here completely. And so Thomas Paine convinced George Washington to go to war fully, instead of just being like, guys, come on, just give us a little more freedom. He said, nope. Like, declare independence now and get these redcoats out of here.
So George wanted, I guess, more diplomacy at first, and just kind of wanted it, like, not to necessarily declare independence and all of that. Thomas Paine was kind of the one that pushed him to that point. Interesting. Okay.
And Thomas Paine is by far my favorite dude from that era, anyways. Like, he was against slavery, which is, good, obviously. And I think, like, way back before, he was a tax collector too. And then he changed his mind on that. And then when he was living in the US, and he's the one who really, I would say that he's the most important founding father, because he's the one who convinced them to declare independence.
I probably should learn a little bit more about that part of history. Like, of course, being a history major, I've read and taken classes on that, and sometimes just also picked up a book and read about that period of time. My main interest was usually around the American Civil War, also like the World War I, World War II. That kind of, is pretty common for people who are interested in military history, like pretty basic.
There's so much material on it too, so it's really easy to get a lot of information about it.
Yes.
Oh, on top of that, Thomas Paine wrote Common Sense, and that got the common person to care about their freedom.
That's right. Okay, Common Sense. I have heard of that. I might have a copy of it around here, actually, somewhere.
There's a book. Hold on.
John Locke, that was the guy that said, give me liberty or give me death, right?
Wasn't that Patrick Henry?
Was it? Shit. Did I get the wrong guy? I thought it was John Locke.
I think he did. I'm not 100% sure. The book is 46 pages. That's what it's called. It's not 46 pages long. It's longer than that. But that goes through Thomas Paine's growing up, and then what I was talking about. And then at the end of it, it has Common Sense in it, so you can read it directly from that. So it's a pretty good book. It's interesting. It's been a long time since I read it, but it's cool. Thomas
46 pages.
Yep.
Okay.
I wanted to name Harper. Well, maybe before we knew we were having a girl, I wanted the next kid's middle name to be Payne. And I almost got away with it too. Not quite, but
You're right. What the fuck was I thinking about? I'm confused now.
I don't know. I basically got kicked out of every college I went to, and you guys are history majors, and it's a very specific time. I know you guys know a lot about other stuff. So like I said, I'm not trying to.
I'll be honest, like I don't remember a lot about history. I went to school to learn how to use history and research. And if you need to know something about history, find it. But I don't store it up here. It's gone. Too much beer and too many whacking my head against the floor and the wall to remember shit. So
Here's I just have to ask this question. How many heads did you whack at college, Bjorn?
just the one.
It's not what I meant at all, but that's fine. Oh, no.
I definitely misspoke there. So
Did you guys look at that article that I sent you?
absolutely not.
I knew it. Did you come up with something?
Oh wait, it was the art of manliness, where it had like the different things that you ask yourself as a man.
Yeah.
I did look at that then.
Okay. So kind of not my whole purpose, but what I would like to get other people to do is try to be more of a man and like encourage a culture of people being men. Because I think we definitely look at other people in authority to be like, oh, can I do this? Can I do that? You know, like perfect example, COVID happened. They're like, you can't keep your business open. And everybody's just like, yes, sir, I won't do it. If men were actually men, that shit wouldn't never happen. So I was talking to you guys about it. I think we should do a challenge. Maybe not once a week, because I think that would be kind of hard for all of us to do. But every once in a while, just a challenge from Monday to Monday that gets us out of our comfort zone in one way or another that will make us more manly.
I did come up with a thought on that.
Awesome. Do you want me to share that article? I can pull it up. Or do you? Because we don't necessarily have to go through it, but I sent it to you because I found it after I talked to you guys about this idea, and I was like, oh, this is actually really coincides with what we were talking about. So do you need it up, Bjorn, or can you?
Oh, I don't need it up. You said we were gonna have some kind of like competition.
Yeah, and I figured since Bjorn has a new baby, we'll let him decide first because it'll probably be the most difficult for him to do.
Okay.
Just because
I don't think it will be, but that's because my competition this week is to not lie. Go for a whole week without telling any lies. So that even goes for like if your kid asks, oh, can I have a candy bar? And you're like, oh, we don't have any. Like you don't have to tell the truth no matter what. Like if somebody asks you, oh, what's your password to your ATM? Like you don't have to tell the truth. But it kind of goes along with Jordan Peterson's chapter in his book, like tell the truth, or at least don't lie. And I think it might be harder to do than what we think, because I think we do lie just casually to people, whether if it's just not hurt their feelings, or maybe it's just easier to like you don't want to talk to them, so it's just an easier deflection. So I would say try not to lie for a whole week. And if you do catch yourself in a lie, no matter how small, whatever it is, like if you want to share it next week, like why you lied, like, you know what I'm saying? Like not big lies, just try to alter your speech for a week where you don't default to something that's false.
It's a good one. I've caught myself at work, like little lies that don't matter, just things that weren't true, because it'd be like the guy I'm working with is like, oh, we have to do this and this, and it was like past time. I was like, well, I gotta go cut up a pig. Which was kind of true. Like that's what I was trying to do. I think I told him that I was doing it that night, and then it turned out that it fell through and I had to do it the next night. And then it got to the point where he wanted to stay later and do stuff, and I was like, dude, I gotta go kill a pig. I don't know. But in reality, it was just easier for me to tell him that than be like, dude, I've been here for 12 hours. I don't want to stay any longer. So just little stupid stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
I
So
like that
that,
idea.
so if you think of it, keep track of the ones that you do. I don't imagine I'll probably be lying to my kid very much, but I imagine you guys might have fictional tales to tell your kids if they ask permission to do something you don't want them to do, or I don't know how it works, but
I don't very much. Like, I don't even tell my kids about Santa or the Easter Bunny.
yeah. So it might be. But I'm not a big liar, so I didn't think it was gonna be very hard. But
You lie to me all the time.
okay, yeah, I do lie to you, Luke, but I always tell you the truth like within 5 seconds I'm lying.
Yeah. It makes me laugh.
So other people do the like Santa and stuff with my kids, and I don't tell them anything different. I just don't like telling them stuff that's not true.
That's fair. I talked to Destiny's brother about that this weekend. And yeah, he doesn't want to do Santa Claus or things like that. But I think he said it has to do with people dressing up as Santa is a phobia of his, or people in different costumes. Like he doesn't like to go to Comic-Con or cosplay when his wife goes to it. Like he just doesn't like it.
I do think that it can take away from the actual purpose of it from like a Christian standpoint. So I don't want to focus on that either, but because I think it should be more about family and fun and stuff, and then our kids just be like, we get presents, we get candy. I think it's more meaningful than that. So that's part of it too. But
Would it help any if like we modified the story where Santa was born in a manger, and then like the Tooth Fairy, the Easter Bunny, and like Frankenstein brought like the gifts to Mary?
so what you're saying is, instead of letting them distract from the religion, to completely replace them with
Just destroy it.
it. Yeah, I don't know. Luke, what's your thing say behind you?
What? Oh, it says liberty and sparklers for all.
Nice. I like
Yep,
it.
yep. Yep. 'Tis the season. So I can hear those fireworks now, man. They're going. People are shooting them off now.
Are we wrapping it up?
I don't know.
Because I
I
had
will.
a thing, unless you did, Luke.
Oh, I was just gonna say in that article, like one thing that I liked about it was, like, it talked about when's the last time that you did something uncomfortable or something that made you uncomfortable, and I think that's a really important thing to always try to get yourself out of your comfort level from time to time and do different things. I do that at work all the time, so I appreciated when I read that in that article. So I thought that was good.
It is
I like
important your comfort zone because that's where you grow.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, if you're not uncomfortable, you're doing the same exact thing that you have been. And how are you gonna gain any experience or just grow as a person,
Yep.
if you're not uncomfortable.
One of my favorite sayings is to get what you've never had, you need to do what you've never done.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to find it to look at the other things that I was saying, but it's not coming up. I would say that I'm actually pretty comfortable being uncomfortable. And on top of that, I would say that I'm uncomfortable when I am comfortable. And I think that just comes from the way that I've lived my life in the last, 15 years. Like I've lived in 4 states in that time. I've had countless jobs. So I'm very comfortable going to somewhere new and meeting new people. Like I have no issue with that anyways. I'm
That's
way
good.
far behind in my life in a lot of ways, but at least I got that.
So I had something positive to show you guys. It's a video I came across. Let's see. It's only a minute long. We probably don't have to watch the whole thing if you don't want to, but it's I found it on Facebook. I looked it up on YouTube. Damn it.
While you're pulling it up, I was still just scrolling through the Art of Manliness to see if I can find this article, and I found one that the title of it says "Why I Tape My Mouth Shut at Night."
Oh, okay.
And it's a picture of the guy who runs it with his mouth taped shut. I'm not gonna read it. It just made me start laughing.
How do I do audio?
When you hit share screen in the bottom left corner of the thing that pops up, it'll say share sound.
Oh, let's see.
Ooh, another good title is Why Every Man Should Be Strong. Dude, men have become bitches.
All right, well. Share device audio, it's on, okay. So these are guys that they're called the pothole vigilantes. Have you heard of them?
The possible
We don't really
vigilantes?
know if it's legal.
Pothole.
We don't have permits.
Oh,
We're out there in the middle of the night, even though Oakland should be doing it themselves. They're not, so we're doing it. We are the pothole vigilantes. We're in our 20s, and we fill potholes in the dark of night. The streets of Oakland are crumbling away. There's a million potholes, so we don't plan where we're gonna go because we're gonna find a pothole no matter what. The cost to fill a pothole depends on how big it is, but the bag's around $20, and it takes 10 to 15 minutes to fix a problem. Oakland has a budget of $100 million and a 3-year plan to fix streets. If they gave us $1 million contract in 1 to 2 months, we'd fix all the potholes. We stay anonymous because the problem is bigger than ourselves. This is not just about filling potholes. This is about fixing the community. The community has all been very supportive.
I appreciate you guys.
Fix something when you see something broken. It's really that easy.
So I thought that was kind of cool.
the only thing more awesome than that was Luke's frozen face in the corner the whole time it was playing. No, that is really cool. And like when I'm an anarchist, I don't believe government should exist at all, and I think they're horrible and evil and do no good. And a big argument is like, who would build the roads? And then you see Domino's fucking filling potholes in places, and then you see these guys, and it's like people can't wrap their heads around, oh, like people in the community wouldn't care enough to fix where they drive every day. Are you kidding me?
Exactly.
like who builds the roads now? The government just takes it, keeps most of the money, and then pays somebody else a little bit of money to do the roads, where we could just pay somebody, or people would just do it. And that's a perfect example. And I love that. And I wish more people were doing things like that.
I agree. Luke,
Yeah.
do you like egg?
What was that?
I said, Luke, do you like my do-rag?
Yeah. You wear one once in a while, don't you? Not all the time, but I think I've seen you.
I do once in a while, but today I did it because I tried to give myself a haircut in the garage.
Oh my god. What are you doing?
I did it without hair or anything. I was out there with clippers and just started going wah wah wah. Like,
Why
I think
didn't you finish?
I wanted to grow longer on top, but it was just pissing me off so much on the sides and the back. It was getting so shaggy, and I was just like, you know what, fuck this. I'm getting rid of it. But it made me laugh because Luke, sometimes when you're shaving your head with like a battery operated one, your batteries die. You're like, you sent me pictures of like a half shaved head.
That's
hilarious.
happened. Yeah.
You don't bake your head?
What?
You
Me?
don't bake your head?
No, I do it with the trimmer first to get it down low, and then I bick it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Quit being
But
lazy.
he-
Just fucking shave that thing every day.
He used a battery operated one, and he runs out of batteries. It's happened like 3 times.
Yes. It hasn't happened for a while. I've been pretty good at making sure it's charged.
Do you ever have to go anywhere after it doesn't finish shaving your head?
I guess not usually, but if I did, I I wear hats pretty often, so I would just throw a hat on there. But it'd be funny if it was like still like a part in the back,
back.
where, yeah, something like that.
Well, this has been fun. I think we should end it now. If you guys are good with it. I got nothing else.
Yep. Remember,
Yeah.
don't.
Wait, you cut out all the time, Bjorn.
I'm sorry. I can't hardwire the internet into my phone. I said, remember, don't lie.
Don't lie. That is a very good thing to not do. All right. Anybody got anything else? Going once, going twice. Luke, sign us off.
All right. I hope everyone has a happy 4th of July, or had a happy 4th of July. That's basically all I got. I had a great one, so hope everyone's just as good as the one I had, and I hope that you're just as tired as I am after it.
All right. Well, we will be back soon.
Hey, don't let me forget on Tuesday I can wear pants.